everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of A Day in the Life of a Virtual Latino. My name is Liz. I'm a customer success agent here in Virtual Latinos, and today I have the pleasure to be with Jackie. She's actually a social media VA for a health company, and she has been working in her field for around 12 years, which is been a long time. So, Jackie, tell me, how are you today? So, it's Friday.
I'm great, Liz, and I'm grateful that it's Friday. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much. So, Jackie, I know you love like watching music, listening to music, watching movies. So, what kind of movies are like your favorite?
I like comedies, basically, but depending on the mood, whenever you have a rough day, it's good to watch like comedies and sitcoms and things like that. But I also like movies from like culture, from cinema, like more non-conventional cinema, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what I like to watch, or documentaries too.
Good. I'm more like romantic movies.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person who watch the movie and you see like the tears just going down because I like feel it so hard. So yeah, I'm that type of person. Tell me, Jackie, how is the day in the life of Jackie as a social media VA? Like, what do you do in a day-to-day basis?
Well, I basically wake up. I usually wake up before 7 a.m. every day because my son is still sleeping usually. So I get at least an hour ahead of work if he doesn't wake up. So I usually get up at around 6:30. I get into the shower. I dress up. I get myself coffee. I have a coffee machine here, and I start working with my clients' social media efforts. I basically create content for her and the graphics for it, as well as some marketing efforts. We're working on her website right now. We're also trying to, explore all other marketing channels. So I'm pretty much do some studying also. I watch some tutorials on YouTube, or I have some courses that I purchased. So I will also watch some of the courses to gather some information to create a plan for her. The first hour I try to, work on the tasks that, I need to get off my to-do list. Then I hit pause and get my son to school. And then I come back and I keep working on whatever tasks I have. It's usually ongoing. So it's great because my client gives me a lot of freedom to explore new alternatives, and we're testing and we're seeing how the numbers are. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down. So, but I like the fact that she allows me to explore the alternatives and the possibilities. And sometimes we chat with each other on WhatsApp. Sometimes we have a quick call just to touch base on whatever we need. And then as I'm working part-time with her, I usually stop working around noon. I deliver everything that I have for her, and I start working with other clients that I have. And that's pretty much my day-to-day until around 5 o'clock, where I have to stop because I'm so tired. And I stay with my family, or I take a quick nap, or, something like that. But it's pretty much what I do every single day.
Great. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. So tell me, Jackie, what makes you stay like positive and motivating working remotely? Because as you know, when you have the chance like to commute and go to different places and drive and look at Mexico City and see people around you, and now working like remotely, how do you stay positive?
To be quite honest, I have been working remotely since 2019, even before the pandemic. So first of all, I'm very used to it. And second of all, I always wished to have this lifestyle. I mean, it's not that I don't like seeing people, but I love being in my house. I love working from home. I love saving time on the commute. And that's actually that time that I save is time that I can use to stop working a little bit earlier and, go around my neighborhood and see my friends and things like that. So I really don't mind the fact that I'm working from home. I actually love it. I it's the lifestyle that I wanted for myself. So I don't miss going to the office or anything like that at all. And I'm also, well, I don't know if you knew this, but I'm also a teacher.
Oh, no,
And
tell us a little bit.
yeah, I'm a teacher. I teach at my university, the same university where I studied my bachelor's degree and my master's degree. I have been teaching there for over 7 years, and I mean, the pandemic had made me stay home and teach from home. I do hate that. I really didn't like it, the fact that I had to teach on Zoom. And I love the fact that I was allowed to come back this semester. So I'm not, in my house every day. I get to go twice a week to teach my college students. And basically that's something that also keeps me motivated, So it's kind of like I feel like it's a balance between both types of lives, I could say. And I'm happy about it.
Good, because this is the type, like, you have a dynamic life, let's put it that way, because you don't get bored for just working in one thing. Like, you have so many things at the same time, and that makes you like stay active and all of that. So great. So what is the most important lesson you have learned, like, over your career?
Over my career, or
like
my remote career? Oh,
your
my whole career.
Yeah.
Let me think about one important one. I could say it's still it's still hard for me to do it, but I could say that do not take things personally in the workforce. From clients or from bosses. I mean, it's hard, I think about it, but I just don't connect it with my feelings sometimes. But I think that's the most important lesson, to keep everything like to separate, friendship from business. I mean, sometimes clients, I don't know, you're not giving your full attention to something, or you fail at something, and the client might get disappointed. But instead of taking it personally, I believe that it's important that you take the feedback and you try to use it to improve, instead of taking it personally and, feeling down and feeling sad or, frustrated about it. That, I could say, that could be my top lesson from my career over the past few years.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing. As you said, like, don't taking things personal things personally will always help you to be a better professional, I would say. So that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that as well. So also, I wanted to ask you, what is that number one advice that you could give to a future virtual assistant? Because as you know, right now, there are so many people watching this video, and they might be wondering, what is that I needed to do to become a successful virtual assistant as you? So what is that number one advice that you can provide?
Okay. I think it might sound a little bit counterintuitive, but to be as organized and disciplined as possible. It wasn't very hard for me to get into the dynamics of working from home, avoiding distractions. That it's usually what happens to some people, that they rather go to the office. But if you're a person that wants to move into the virtual world, into the remote job lifestyle, through the virtual assistantship, regardless of the career that you're studying or the things that you're doing, I think the number one thing is to really, really, really be very, very organized and strict. Even if the client has flexible schedule, which is in my case, for example, my client gives me a flexible schedule so I can go and teach and everything. But I really have to get really, really organized in order to avoid burnout. So I think that's the most important thing that you need in order to transition from a person that commits to a job and turning into a person that will be working from home.
Great. So something that I like that you mentioned is organized. So being honest with you, when I started, it was hard for me to get myself organized. So do you use any kind of tool, or how do you organize yourself every day?
I have been testing some tools, to be quite honest with you, but the one that I use the most is an app. It's called To Do. It's from Microsoft. It's very simple to use. It's literally a list. And you can add the dates, and you can add some reminders if you really need to get into something urgent. That's the one I usually have, and that's the one I always keep it open, to check on my schedule and everything. But if it's something more elaborate, like for instance, in my case, I need to plan social media posts and things like that, I usually use Google spreadsheets. But in order to organize myself a little bit more, I use project management tools. Usually Asana, I think that's the one that I like the most as project management goes. And I have used it with past clients, and it works pretty well. I think it's very easy to use, and it keeps track of everything that you're doing, and you can add comments and people can read them, and it's very collaborative. But as far as for myself, I use the app that I mentioned, the To Do.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have these, like, it's a like a mouse pad, but you can write on top of it. So sometimes I'm very visual, and if I have a lot of things to do, I usually write down my pending stuff in that mouse pad. And when the week ends, I just tear the page, and they have new pages and things like that. So sometimes I also go, analog.
Like, let's say old school.
Yeah,
so I do that as
exactly.
well. So I have a notepad, like just a notebook where I write things that I think I might forget. Because as you said,
Yeah.
I'm also so visual. And if I see it, like here, and I can touch it, I know I need to do it. So yeah.
I don't know if you can see it.
It kind of disappeared because of Zoom,
Yeah.
but yeah, I also have mine here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it there.
It's a little there. So it's a mouse pad, and the pages, you can tear the pages, and that's it pretty much.
Great, that's good. So I'm old school too. No worries.
Yeah.
Great. So also, Jackie, I would like to ask you, so as you know, and now that you've been in this industry, remote work for a few years, there are different platforms, but why did you decide to go with Virtual Latinos and not maybe another platform? Why did you choose us?
I mean, the fact that it was the one that existed back then, the one that I knew, by family and friends.
Mm-hmm.
I applied, I went through the process like everyone else. And once I got in, I decided that I needed to, to look for a job as soon as possible. I was also pregnant at the time. My son was about to be born, and I didn't want to go back to work, to the office. So I started doing my research, and friends and family recommended Virtual Latinos. So once I had that recommendation, I decided to go for it. And I think it was one of the best decisions I have ever taken. I have been working with clients from Virtual Latinos for the past 3 years. I still work with one that it's a little bit independent, but I still work with another one. And I'm very happy with how they manage things. I'm very happy for the way that they handle everything internally, that help us, avoid any type of trouble with the client, with the constant feedback that you receive from the client, from your end, or the constant feedback that we can give you guys, so that you can help us, solve any type of trouble or anything like that. It makes me feel safe, secure. So
Great.
yeah, that's how I came through Virtual Latinos.
Great. I thank you so much for sharing that, because it's good, that the audience know, as you said, we do care about our VAs, and we try to always make them feel secure. It's great. Yeah. So then for those future virtual assistants that want to get into the community, what is that number one advice that you can provide? Because before it was just to remote worker, but now to specifically Virtual Latinos. What advice can you give to them?
To the future people that want to be part of this community?
Correct.
I would say you go for it. I think it's worth it. The payments are great. For somebody that lives in Latin America, receiving payment in US dollars is it's so much better. I mean, at least in my experience as a graphic designer, I'm really a graphic designer. So in my experience, the work here is not well paid, and I have been gaining a great salary since I started working for clients from Virtual Latinos. So I would say that it's worth it on that end. And it's also worth it, to spend time at your house. If, for example, these people that want to be in the community are going to be parents or are already parents. the fact that you can stay at home and be with your child, it's priceless. So I would say that my advice is go for it. Take the tests, go through the process, everything that you need to do. It's hard, but it's worth it.
Yeah, good. Thank you so much for that. Because, there are people that once they see, okay, I need to fill out this form or I need to complete this, they might get scared. But at the end, as Jackie just said, it's worth it, guys. So please go ahead and follow all the processes, read everything. And yeah, you're going to get it. So Jackie's been with us for a long time already, and she can tell us that it's true. It's real.
Yeah.
Good. So Jackie, I want to thank you so much for your time today. So guys, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and wait for more episodes. Once again, Jackie, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Liz. Thank you for your time as well.
Thank you. Bye.